that I saw Amazon fall 95%. Seen lots of volatility. I saw it fall 80% many times.
Wow, that's crazy. Because
I think the best investment ideas in the last 30 years, they're dominant digital monopolies that everybody needs, nobody can stop, and very few people understand.
Right.
And Amazon was like that. Apple is like that.
Right.
Google is like that. Facebook is kind of like that. And Bitcoin is like that.
Yes.
They all have the same characteristic. Few people understand it. When few people understand it, but everybody needs it and no one can stop it, that's when to invest.
Right.
You could say today that everybody kind of understands that they need Apple and Google and Facebook and YouTube and Amazon. They understand it today. And so those aren't so good investments anymore, because once a few 100 million people agree with you, you're not early. So people disagreed on Apple and Amazon a decade ago, and they were good investments, and they went up by a factor of 20 from there.
Wow.
And people disagree on Bitcoin today, which is why it's a good investment.
Right.
Because if all of the issues were worked out, then it would already be 30, 40, 50 times more expensive.
Wow.
And it wouldn't be controversial, but you would lose 97% of your wealth. If you're a saver, you're not really investing or taking a risk on a company. You're converting a weak property to a strong property.
Right.
If you're an investor, you have to have at least a 4-year time horizon.
4 years.
Okay. If you're investing in something thinking you'll make money in 4 weeks, you're not really an investor, you're a speculator. Now, if you don't know what you're doing and you're guessing, you're just guessing, you're just betting on black or red, I call that speculation.
Okay.
If you have a methodology, if you have computer programs and you have proprietary algorithms and you have special information that no one else has, you can call yourself a trader. Right? Maybe you're a trader, but either way, you're a trader or you're a speculator, but you're not really an investor. Because if you're an investor, you have a thesis that's going to take years to play out. So I would say that if you're looking at something as an investor and you're not going to hold it for 4 years, you're just speculating, you're gambling over whether the EPS will beat the numbers that the street expects next Tuesday, right? And nobody knows. It's coin flip. When you're buying Bitcoin, if you understand it, I don't think you're investing, and I don't think you're speculating. I think you're saving. And if you're saving, you're thinking, I'm going to buy it for a decade. And what I would say to people is, if you're not going to hold it for a decade, for 10 years, I wouldn't even hold it for 10 minutes. I think the right way to think of it is, if there's money you need in the next 12 months, you probably should store it in a currency, like a stable currency. If I live in Korea and I have rent coming due in Korean won, then I would hold some cash balances in Korean won.
Right.
If I have money that I wish to save and give to my grandchildren, 10 to 30 years out, or even 100 years out, I want to keep it in my family.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Then you should be putting it into a portfolio property, scarce desirable assets. So property, what is that? Bitcoin is digital property. Otherwise, buy the most valuable land, or you might buy trophy collectibles. Very, Leonardo da Vinci paintings, Picasso, something that is rare and desirable and scarce. If you buy a portfolio of property that is, it's not a company, it's not a currency, it's something that affluent people will find desirable in 10 to 30 years, then that's a saving strategy. If you wish to take risk, if you wish to invest in companies, you're an investor.
Right.
Now you might decide that you think that Apple is undervalued or Google is going to perform well, or you might invest in a private company.
Right.
Okay, well, the advantage of those things is they generate cash flows, but the disadvantage is they have risk. So if you want to take that risk, you can, but it's not the same as owning a city block in downtown Seoul.
All right.
Korea. So my answer to anybody would be, don't check the price of it every minute if you're a saver. If you notice, this year we had Coinbase there. I think they said they're like up to like 73 million customers now.
Wow.
They added 25 million customers in a year or more.
Wow. Wow.
Lots of institutional accounts, an avalanche of institutional accounts, and an avalanche of money. We had an investment bank, Jefferies. We had a commercial bank, Silvergate. I think we see a lot more companies coming in the space.
Talking about the price of Bitcoin, do you see $1 million Bitcoin in our lifetime?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think that Bitcoin is first going to flip gold, and when it flips gold, it should be about a $500,000 coin asset.
Right.
But I think Bitcoin is also going to replace bond indexes and real estate and other sorts of property investments. And I think there's no reason why it shouldn't go to $100 trillion. That would put it at $5 million a coin. So I definitely think it'll happen. Like, the question is really just over what time frame.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.